Imagine a family where love isn't just shared, it multiplies. Where every new person joining, by marriage or partnership brings this a whole new layer. Complexity, yeah, but also joy, and sometimes, let's be honest, maybe some outright chaos. That's pretty much the reality for blended families, and if you're part of one, you definitely know it's a journey, unlike any other.
It really is a unique journey and actually becoming much more common these days. Blended families are rapidly turning into one of the most prevalent family structures in modern society.
Is that right?
Yeah, to give you a sense, Pew Research found back in 2019 that a significant chunk, 16% of kids under 18 were living with a step-parent or some kind of blended family member or even a cohabiting partner.
Wow, 16%. That's a lot of families figuring this out.
It's a huge segment of the population navigating these very distinct dynamics, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so our mission today on this deep dive is really to unpack this fascinating, often, messy, but hopefully ultimately rewarding landscape. We're going to explore those unique dynamics, the hurdles that can sometimes feel massive like mountains, and also the profound, often really unexpected joys of blended family life. So think of this as like your shortcut to understanding this complex world. We're drawing insights from different places to help you navigate it.
And I think it's so important to say up front, while blending families can be incredibly rewarding, it really demands immense patience, deep understanding too, and maybe most crucially, effective communication. You need that to foster a truly harmonious, loving environment for everyone involved.
Right.
It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint.
But that's a really good way to put it, a marathon. Okay, let's start then with maybe the unvarnished truth. Let's dive into some of the bigger challenges first. One of the biggest, I imagine, right out of the gate is just the adjustment period.
Exactly. It's not like flipping a switch. It's a gradual evolution. Every single family member, but especially the kids, they need considerable time. Time to adjust to new living arrangements, new roles, new relationships, even just a different set of house rules. We often see children kind of clinging to how things used to be. And this shift, it naturally brings discomfort. It shows up differently in every child, of course. But often you see feelings of insecurity, maybe even competition for a parent's attention.
Like their whole world has tilted.
It's like asking them to learn completely new choreography right in the middle of the dance. It's unsettling.
Yeah, I can see that. And building on that, what about just the sheer complexity? You mentioned new relationships, new roles. It sounds like more than just adding people. It's like a whole new family ecosystem gets created.
That's a perfect way to describe it, an intricate web. And this complexity, it often leads to something we call divided loyalties. This is where kids can feel really caught, like squarely in the middle, torn between their biological parents and their step-parents. Trying to balance all these relationships, each one with its own history and needs, well, it can be extremely complicated and emotionally taxing, frankly, for everyone trying to figure out where they fit.
That sounds like a constant tightrope walk. And then, okay, you layer onto that the whole issue of clashing parenting styles. That seems like a huge potential flashpoint, merging different rules, different routines. Sometimes it must feel like trying to mix oil and water.
Oh, it's fundamental.
Yeah.
A major hurdle. Diana Baumrein's work on parenting styles really helps understand this. She identified 4 main types. First, you have the authoritative parent. Think tender teacher, warm, reasonable, sets consistent limits. This usually leads to kids who are competent, high self-esteem.
Okay, that sounds like the ideal. Maybe.
In many ways, yes. Then there's the authoritarian parent, a rigid ruler. Very firm, but often offers little warmth or support. They demand obedience, often without much explanation. Kids might be obedient, sure, but often with lower happiness, lower self-esteem.
Right. And the others.
On the other side, you've got the permissive parent. They're warm, they're caring, but maybe not firm enough. They tend to be lenient, have trouble setting limits. Their kids sometimes struggle with self-regulation, maybe low happiness, trouble respecting authority later on.
Okay.
And finally, there's the uninvolved parent, neither warm nor really firm, often emotionally absent. And that style, unfortunately, tends to lead to the most negative outcomes for kids.
So you can see how mixing those would be tricky.
Exactly. The challenge just explodes when these styles merge under one roof.
Okay.
There's a case study from the Gottman Institute about Rick and Claire. Rick had a military background, so he leaned pretty authoritarian, expected immediate obedience from his daughter and his stepkids. Claire, though, she was much more permissive. Maybe some guilt from her divorce, perhaps. She gave her kids a lot of leeway. So they're completely different approaches. It just created constant conflict.
Yeah.
And the kids, totally confused. Which rules apply? whose authority actually matters here.
Wow. Yeah.
And this is where that really nuanced insight comes in for step-parents. Connection, like real, genuine connection, has to come before correction. If a step-parent tries to lay down the law too early, before that bond is there,
The kids just push back.
they're far more likely to resent them. Yeah. It's like you wouldn't try to build the roof of a house before you've laid a solid foundation, right?
No, that makes perfect sense. The timing and who is doing the disciplining matters hugely.
Wow.
Okay, and speaking of sensitive areas, maybe the most delicate dance of all, navigating interactions with ex-partners. This has got to be a minefield for so many families.
It absolutely can be.
Yeah.
Especially if the previous relationships ended badly. And, you know, the raw comments you see online, like on Reddit threads about this, they really bring it home. People in blended families talk about constant chaos sometimes, crying, yelling from stepkids, leading to this feeling of no privacy, feeling totally overwhelmed.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. Some step-parents even admit feeling like it's them against me,
Right.
or that they're, you know, losing their own happiness. Some even say they're just tolerating the stepchild for their partner's sake.
Oh, wow. That's tough.
It really shows the profound emotional toll it can take, that feeling of being an outsider in your own home.
Yeah. And quickly, we should also touch on the financial realities. That's another layer, right? Managing child support, maybe alimony, plus just the increased costs of a bigger household.
Absolutely. It adds another significant layer of stress, often an unseen burden, but very real.
Okay, so we've definitely laid out some formidable hurdles there. Emotional adjustments, complex relationships, financial pressures. It's clear this journey isn't always smooth sailing.
Rarely is, no.
But the good news is there are strategies, real, actionable ways to navigate these waters. So let's pivot now. Let's talk about building bridges, key strategies for success. How do we start turning these challenges around? First up, you mentioned it earlier, the power of open communication. What's the deeper insight here beyond just, talk more?
Right. It's more nuanced than that.
Yeah.
In blended families, the insight isn't just that you communicate, but really how you manage all the different communication channels. And crucially, who delivers which message.
Ah, okay. So who should talk to who about what?
Precisely. For instance, research consistently shows kids are way more receptive to new house rules or discussions about tricky behaviors when that conversation comes primarily from their biological parent.
Even if the step-parent feels the exact same way.
Even then. The step-parent's role, especially initially, is often more about that active listening, validating feelings, building trust first. It's less about laying down the law themselves right away.
So the communication strategy is key, and I guess that needs some structure too, like maybe regular family meetings or check-ins, just to have a consistent space for everyone to share.
Yes, those can be incredibly helpful, provide a safe platform. And when you were talking, active listening is vital, not just hearing the words, but trying to understand the feelings underneath.
Using those I statements too, I suppose, like, I feel upset when, instead of blaming.
Exactly. And setting ground rules for those talks helps too. No interrupting, no personal attacks, finding respectful ways to disagree, all crucial.
Okay. Beyond communication, you mentioned establishing clear boundaries and expectations. Why is that so critical?
It creates stability, predictability. Kids especially thrive on that. So partners need to openly discuss their parenting styles, maybe find some common ground, and work together to set consistent rules for all the children. Things like chores, screen time, bedtimes.
Consistency is key.
Yes. And if possible, involve the co-parents in this too. The more consistency across households, the better. And again, circling back to discipline. Biological parent takes the lead initially. The step-parent gradually supports and chimes in once that connection, that trust is formed. It's a slow build.
Right, not an immediate takeover. Okay, this next strategy feels really important. Fostering strong relationships, building those genuine bonds. This clearly isn't an overnight fix. How do families actually make this happen?
It takes time and real sustained effort. Simple strategies include just spending quality one-on-one time and quality family time together. Family outings, game nights, sharing hobbies, whatever works for your family.
And encouraging the step-siblings to connect, too.
Definitely. Encourage them to develop their own relationships, not just as part of the larger family unit. And here's a subtle but, I think, powerful tip, specifically for step-parents. Genuine connection often sparks when you join a child in something they already love. Instead of always trying to create new family activities, dive into their world, their favorite video game, the book series they're obsessed with. That shared interest can be a surprising bridge.
That's a great point. Meet them on their turf.
Exactly. Offer affection, but don't force it. And crucially, make sure they feel like they belong. A child's perception of belonging is so closely tied to their relationship with their step-parent. And also, don't forget to notice and praise their efforts, their positive contributions.
Little acknowledgments go a long way. Brilliant insight. Meet them where they are. Okay, so what does all this mean for the couple, the ones at the very center of this new family? Building a united front as a couple sounds like the absolute foundation everything else is built on.
It absolutely is. The strength of that couple's relationship, it underpins the entire blended family structure. Key things here. Regular, honest communication between the partners about the challenges, the successes, presenting that united front on the important stuff, like discipline.
So the kids see they're a team.
Yes. And openly showing affection and support for each other in front of the kids. That models a healthy relationship. Gottman's research talks about adopting an us against the problem mindset. That's way more effective than letting issues create an us against each other dynamic. Your bond is really the blueprint for the new family.
That makes so much sense. Okay, and then the really tricky one for many, navigating co-parenting with ex-partners. This can be, well, the most challenging, most emotionally charged part of the whole thing, right?
It certainly can be. The number one goal here, it has to be prioritizing the kids' best interests. Above personal feelings, above past grievances.
Easier said than done sometimes, I bet.
Oh, absolutely. But essential. Strive for as much consistency across both households as you can manage. Similar rules, similar routines that gives kids stability. Set clear boundaries about roles and responsibilities. Establish clear communication channels, maybe calls for urgent things, texts or emails for schedules.
Keep it businesslike, almost.
In some ways, yes. Professional politeness can help. Be flexible when you can. Address issues constructively, and really try to leave past relationship baggage out of parenting discussions. If conflicts just keep happening or things get really acrimonious, seriously consider mediation or co-parenting counseling. Getting neutral support can be invaluable.
Some really practical advice there.
Okay.
Okay, after focusing on the hurdles and how to manage them, let's shift gears. Let's talk about celebrating the joys, the unexpected upside. Because despite all the challenges, there really is so much potential good here, isn't there?
Oh, there's a huge upside. Absolutely. The diversity, the richness that often comes out of blended families, it can genuinely outweigh the initial pains and complexities. For one thing, it directly leads to expanded love and support systems.
More people to love and be loved by.
Exactly. More people means more opportunities to connect, which ultimately can lead to stronger bonds, more love, more happiness for everyone.
And it's not just emotional support, is it? It's practical help, too.
Right. An extended support system means potentially more adults to share childcare, maybe pitch in with housework, offer advice, just be there when the kids need someone.
Yeah.
Parenting expert Dana Hurt shared her own story. She talked about gaining a bonus parent and her family expanding from 2 siblings to 7.
Wow, 7.
Yeah. She described it as creating this powerful, real support network she'd never expected. A genuine expansion of her world.
That's amazing. And this expansion, it must broaden kids' horizons, too.
Definitely. It leads to exposure to diverse perspectives and enhanced social skills. Kids encounter different backgrounds, different traditions, values, ways of thinking. It just broadens their view of the world and builds empathy.
And they learn valuable life skills in the process.
Crucial skills. Things like effective communication, resolving conflicts, being adaptable. Skills that will serve them so well their entire lives. It can make them more resilient adults.
Okay. And what about the unique joys of step-parenting itself? We heard some tough stories earlier, but there must be incredibly heartwarming aspects, too. What's the payoff for someone stepping into that often challenging role?
There really is. It's about finding that sweet spot, maybe. Comments from step-parents often highlight the profound opportunity to help shape a young person's life, to help a child learn right from wrong, feel secure.
Being a positive influence.
Yes, and many get to witness those amazing firsts. Potty training, learning to read, eventually learning to drive, and just being part of all those core childhood memories. One person specifically mentioned loving the fun aunt uncle role.
Ah, yeah, you mentioned that. Less direct discipline, maybe.
Fun times, yeah. More room for just pure connection and fun. People talk about the sweetness of just random hugs or the I love you more's arguments,
Yeah.
the way laughter fills the house, those unexpected moments of connection.
That sounds lovely. And creating specific traditions, too. Like, I saw a mention of Harry Potter movie nights.
Exactly. Creating special bonding activities, new traditions that are unique to this family, that build incredibly meaningful shared memories. And for the step-parent themselves, it's often a journey of huge personal growth, learning patience, emotional regulation in ways they might never have expected.
That's true. And some people even find their blended family setup is actually better, richer than maybe a previous nuclear family experience.
It happens. It really speaks to the unique strengths and possibilities that blending can bring.
So ultimately, how do you keep it going? Maintaining a healthy and happy blended family sounds like an ongoing process.
It requires ongoing conscious effort, absolutely. Prioritizing self-care is huge for all family members, making sure everyone's individual needs are acknowledged. Trying to maintain a healthy work-life balance helps reduce stress and just improves relationships all around.
And maybe don't forget to celebrate the good stuff.
Yes, absolutely crucial. Celebrate the milestones, the special occasions. Create those new traditions that are unique to your blended family. Show appreciation, show gratitude for each other. These moments, they don't just strengthen the
They
bonds.
build a family story.
Exactly. They create that unique shared history, the family's identity. They build those lasting, joyful memories that everyone carries forward. They really are the threads that weave the whole tapestry together.
So wrapping this all up, what does this deep dive mean for you, our listener? I guess blended families are really this testament to love, aren't they? To resilience, adaptability.
They truly are. They present these unique challenges, yes, but when those challenges are met with patience, with open communication, and that crucial united front, they can lead to really profound joy and fulfillment.
So as you reflect on your own family tapestry, whatever it looks like, maybe consider this. What if the greatest strength of a blended family isn't in trying to be perfectly seamless, but actually in its beautiful, sometimes messy, constantly evolving nature? What new tradition or maybe what new conversation can you spark today to celebrate the unique bonds within your own blended family, allowing that love to stretch and grow even wider?